the following presentation of the National Football League.
Before we get underway, let's send it down to Christina Pink with Rams head coach Jeff Fisher.
Thank you, Dick. Jeff, you get Trey Mason back in the backfield today. What impact does that have on your offense?
I thought Benny did a good job for us last week. He filled in and ran against a really tough defense. But Trey's going to give us that, that extra dimension. He's got great quickness.
Any emphasis this week in the prep on sustaining momentum and getting off to a fast start with this group?
That's all we talked about all week. We just getting ready to receive this kickoff. We need to get points on the board, play good defense against an outstanding rushing team. We got a lot of great things to say about Kirk Cousins. I think he's going to be an outstanding quarterback. So not going to be an easy day, and I got to go.
All right, thank you, Coach. Back up to you, Dick.
All right, and there's Jay Gruden in his second game in his second year as head coach of the Redskins. And, of course, losing last week to Miami, although they played well. And this is Dustin Hopkins, who was just signed as a kicker, has never kicked in the NFL. And the opening kickoff, and the Redskins won the toss and deferred, so the Rams will start on offense beginning from the 20-yard line. Nick Foles, the quarterback, and of course he had played with the Eagles, and they're pinning their hopes on Nick Foles, who really showed well last week, David.
He most certainly did, and the thing that he said that he needs to do today against this Redskins secondary that has faced some injuries is he wants to be aggressive, but he also wants to be smart. He can go to his checkdowns, throw the ball away, don't take any gambles that he doesn't need to.
And you saw the touchdown-interception ratio in his career, most impressive. So as Christina reported, Trey Mason is the setback, first and 10 at the 20-yard line. Play action on first down, and the pass out to Jared Cook, the tight end. And Cook close to the first down and may just have it. Let's take a look at the Rams offense. And boy, they've got the depth at running back. Mason starting today, and the tight ends also prove well.
They most certainly do, and we're going to have to watch Tavon Austin today. He is going to be all over the field. They want to get him in open space where he is at his best and use his athletic ability, but most importantly, they know that it opens up the run game.
First down at the 32. Tavon Austin in the lineup, and here's Trey Mason with his first carry, and he brings it across the 35-yard line. Taking a look at the Redskins defense, and they don't have to take much of a backseat to the Rams. They're pretty tough.
They most certainly are, and I think Jason Hatcher last week had his best game as a Washington Redskin, was absolutely disruptive, but we're really going to have to watch the back end and Brashad Breeland, who is stepping in, who hasn't played in 14 days.
Chris Culliver suspended for one game, and so Breeland, who was suspended for the opener, in there at cornerback. Second down and 6. And here's Tavon Austin going in motion to the right. And the handoff is to Mason, and the Redskins are right there. They stuff him down. 1 yard gain, and Stephen Paya and Terrence Knighton combined to make the play. They have a 3-4 front, but a lot of times they have a 4-man rush with third down coming up.
They have a lot of different hybrids, and Joe Barry said he wants to be aggressive and make sure his defensive line plays in the backfield all day.
Third down and 5. There's Joe Barry, who came over to the Redskins from San Diego. And Austin now is at the top of your picture. Wide right, covered by D'Angelo Hall. Foles out of the shotgun on third down and 5. Loses the ball, covers up. No turnover, but the Redskins hold, and the Rams will have to kick.
Good coverage, but most importantly, the pressure. They've got Nick Foles to step up, really force it. He's lucky he didn't fumble that ball and create a turnover right down in Redskins territory.
So Johnny Hecker will come in to kick, and Jamison Crowder. Crowder running up, fields it on the 25 in stride, and is hit hard and down at the 27. So the Redskins, and their quarterback is Kirk Cousins. played a solid game, only his 11th start, and looking to pick up his 3rd career victory.
He most certainly is, and it's going to come down to his timing, the precision of the run game, but more importantly, the 5-step drops. Let him get his back foot in the ground, plant, and drive that football.
3 tight ends line up for the Redskins. Play action, and the pass is caught by one of the tight ends, and the best one they've got, Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed is a favorite target of Cousins, and a 20-yard pickup and a first down shy of midfield.
Kirk Cousins talked about how much of an advantage it is to have a healthy Jordan Reed. He creates mismatches against linebackers, safeties, but you saw him break that post off, get right into the hole of that defense, and come up with a big first down.
He tweaked his quad in practice on Thursday after leading the Redskins in receiving against Miami last week. They continue to go with 3 tight ends, and the handoff to Alfred Morris coming off a 121-yard game, but Morris is knocked back for a loss of 1 thanks to Alec Ogletree, the linebacker.
Back-to-back weeks for the Washington Redskins offensive line to go up against a top 5 defensive line. I'm really looking forward to watching Trent Williams against Robert Quinn. They're going to have to help inside and most importantly to that right side with a young offensive line. He's going to be one-on-one, and last season, Robert Quinn had 1.5 sacks and a forced fumble.
This is a devastating defensive line that the Rams have. Not a weakness among the 4. 2nd down and 11. And Cousins getting time, goes underneath, completes the pass, and close to another first down. Morris, the running back out of the backfield, appears to be about 1.5 yards shy of the first down, with LaMarcus Joyner, the nickelback, making the tackle.
Good protection by the offensive line. They brought it, checked it down to Alfred Morris, and he comes up with a nice solid gain to put him in that 3rd and manageable distance that they said that they need to come up with today.
So what do they do now? They've been going with 3 tight ends.
I think that most importantly, still be aggressive, play your game plan, and I think right now you're going to watch out with that trips look top of the bunch. I think they're going to come up with something.
3rd down and 2, and they're going to throw it, and Cousins runs out of time, and Aaron Donald along with Chris Long combine to make the stop, and that protection can break down in a hurry, and a loss of 7.
Aaron Donald's right here on Sean Laval. He's coming up. He has been one of the most disruptive defensive tackles, and I've been watching defensive line play for 13 years. He is the best young defensive tackle I have seen come into the NFL.
Boy, that's a mouthful. So 4th down, and Tress Way will be kicking. Tavon Austin, who last year returned a punt 78 yards against this Redskin team, is back inside the 10. And they're kicking it short or away from him, and Austin lets it drop, and it's a good kick for the Redskins. That is down just outside the 10-yard line. Tress Way, an outstanding young punter in the NFL, so Nick Foles will go back to work.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Rams will start their 2nd offensive possession from the 11-yard line. Benny Cunningham double try last week in the win over Seattle, and getting protection, and this pass thrown up the middle to the 25-yard line, and it's caught by Lance Kendricks. Good for 15 yards. Kendricks with a touchdown grab last week.
Nice job by Kendricks getting in behind the linebackers, being patient, sitting in the hole, and making sure that Nick Foles recognized him. Nice job securing the football. That is something that the Washington Redskins defense said today. They have got to create turnovers.
And Trey Mason is lining up in the backfield. He scored a touchdown from that spot last week against Seattle. And here's the pass, and it's thrown down. Let's see if it's a loose ball. Did it get to the line of scrimmage is the question. It'll be ruled an incomplete pass.
Nick Foles puts Tavon Austin in motion, sends him. They run the fake flare screen out to Austin. Try setting up the screen to the right to Trey Mason. Great job by the Washington Redskins. Ricky Jean-Francois seeing it, identifying it right away, and shutting it down.
2nd down and 10. As the Redskins said, we got to know where Tavon Austin is. And Austin is split out to the left. Benny Cunningham remains in the backfield, a good receiver out of there. And here is Foles going to Cunningham, who drops the ball. Started a run before he had the ball in his possession. And time for a game break. Let's check in with Mike Hill.
All right, guys, Cards and Bears, Arizona off to a good start. David Johnson taking it 8 yards deep on the opening kickoff, and the rookie out of Northern Iowa is gone. 108 yards, that's the longest TD in team history on the return. 7-0, Arizona with the lead. David, Dick, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Cardinals strike fast. 3rd down and 10. Trey Mason back in at running back. Ball at the 26. The Redskins are looking to close it out here and force the Rams to kick. Once again. And they flush Foles from the pocket, and the pass is incomplete. Would have been shy of the first down nonetheless. Intended for Kendricks. 4th down coming up, and so 2 good defensive possessions by the Redskins.
Very nice job by the Washington Redskins defensive line. They are not letting Nick Foles get settled back here. He has not been able to plant his feet with a clean pocket. Saw him break the pocket on that time, and that is not a strength of Nick Foles. Nice stop by the defense.
So Johnny Hecker will kick, and you saw Jamison Crowder, the rookie from Duke, picked on the 4th round. And the fair catch called for at the 27 by Crowder. Alfred Morris coming off a 121-yard rushing game. Don't forget, the Redskins have some depth in the backfield as well. We'll be right back.
This game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Redskins with a 1st down on the 28-yard line, again with 3 tight ends. And here is Morris finding a hole. He has a 1st down, still going. Alfred Morris into Ram territory, and finally gets knocked out of bounds at the Ram 35-yard line by William Hayes after churning 34 yards, and a big play for Morris and the Redskins.
Nice job front side, Sean Laval and Trent Williams setting up, getting to the 2nd level, just giving Alfred Morris that one squeak where he is going to run through, break through arm tackles, and just get him in the open field.
Surprised at 3 tight ends?
No, I'm not surprised, because they want to make sure that they take care of the line of scrimmage and give Alfred Morris the best he can.
Matt Jones is in the game, and the pass is to Jones, who gets hit immediately by Alec Ogletree. Matt Jones, who was the leading rusher for the Redskins in the preseason, averaging 7 yards per carry. And Matt Jones, the 3rd round pick out of Florida, hard-nosed runner, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Jones in support of Morris.
I think we will, and talking to Jay Gruden, he has that big playability, not to mention he is strong lower body. He's 6'2", 235, and can really run through tackles.
Lost 2 yards, however, on that play, so it's 2nd down and 12. And there he is again, Matt Jones. This is Matt Jones, and Jones down the sideline into the end zone. Touchdown, Redskins. "39-yard touchdown run by Matt Jones." I guess we will be seeing a lot of this guy.
We most certainly will, and he just showed his explosiveness. Big block by Jordan Reed, but look at the kick-out block by Sean Laval, setting the edge outside. Lichtensteiger gets to the 2nd level, get him to the outside and let him use his athletic ability. Great blocking up front by the Washington Redskins.
So how do you define the great pass rush that the Rams have? You run the ball, you throw screens, and it's working thus far. Dustin Hopkins on for the extra point, and this is in effect a 33-yard kick. And his first placement, and the kick is good. And the Redskins lead 7-0. First NFL touchdown for this man, Matt Jones. 7-0 Washington.
His game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. And by DraftKings. Free 1-week fantasy football at DraftKings.com.
Well, Jeff Fisher told Christina Pink he wanted the fast start, but it's the Redskins who have, and there is the scoring drive. And don't forget Alfred Morris with a 35-yard run as well, along with the great touchdown run by Matt Jones. There's Benny Cunningham back deep, and this kick by Hopkins It will be run out by Cunningham, 8 yards in the end zone, and he brings it out to about the 20-yard line. And the reason why Hopkins is doing the kicking, he's got the strong leg. And how about the strong pat on the back for Matt Jones by the Redskin fans? Nothing much in the first 2 possessions for the Rams, who start from the 20. Trey Mason, and he's going to be brought down for a loss of a couple of yards. Well, the most unique voice in sports is back on the air. Colin Cowherd is now on FS1. Finally, Smart Sports Talk is back. The Herd with Colin Cowherd, weekdays at noon Eastern, only on FS1. So, David Deal, where should the Rams go? They haven't done much yet.
Well, obviously, the Washington Redskins defense has been putting a lot of emphasis on Tavon Austin and trying to take him out of the game. But I think it was a good start trying to get Trey Mason involved to make sure that they get in 3rd and shorts.
2nd and 11, and they spread the defense. Empty backfield for Foles, and he goes to Austin out of the backfield, and he gets about to the 25-yard line, picking up 5 yards, bringing up 3rd down.
Tavon Austin is that explosive player, and like they said, they want to get him in open space, get him involved, but more importantly, they still have to do a good job of getting the ground game going. They can sell the jet sweeps, the fake reverses, but whatever they can do to open it up in the middle for Trey Mason.
It'll be 3rd down and 5, and last week Austin had a punt return for a touchdown and a run out of the backfield. So it's 3rd down and 5. And again, the Redskin defense looking good thus far, looking for the stop. Austin lining up on the right, trips, and Foles gets hit as he unleashes the ball. He was trying to get it to the running back. Trey Mason downfield, overthrew him, and once again, the Rams will have to punt. 3 straight possessions punting.
They do a great job up front. They bring Keenan Robinson, but then they loop around. They bring Preston Smith inside. That way, even with that 6'5" height of Nick Foles, he cannot step up and deliver the football the way that he would like to.
It was Trent Murphy that got to Foles. As 4th down now, Johnny Hecker will be kicking, and Jamison Crowder now running up once again with the fair catch at about the 34-yard line. So with 5:20 to go in the first quarter, the Redskins lead the Rams 7-0. Talk about establishing the run, 73 yards thanks to Morris. And the man who's in there now, the rookie Matt Jones, who scored the touchdown. And a 1st down at the 34 for the Redskins. Cousins pass, and it's caught by Ryan Grant. So the Redskins want to use several receivers with Deshaun Jackson out of there, and Ryan Graham with a 36-yard grab.
Whenever we talk to Kirk Cousins or Jake Gruden, they said he can run every route in the route tree. He's like a veteran, even though he is a 2nd-year player, and he is going to be able to bring that next dimension that they need to stretch the field with the loss of Deshaun Jackson.
They call this guy a technician, David. Runs exact routes, and that was about as precise as you could want. So now a 1st down at the 31 of the Rams. And here is Jones off the right side, and the Rams are there in the minimal gain.
Well, we talked about the Washington Redskins establishing the run, because now that they have that going, now Kirk Cousins can be comfortable with what he does best. 3-step, 5-step, get that timing and the rhythm of this offense where he can get his back foot in the ground, drive the football, and most importantly, get through his quick progressions.
He comes out, and Alfred Morris checks back in. It'll be 2nd down and 9 on the St. Louis 30. And the flip going to Morris off the left side, trying to beat the defenders, but good extension by the linebackers and a minimal gain there. And it was Nick Fairley, a defensive tackle, 3-yard gain, who was added to this tremendous cast of characters on this defensive line.
I like the fact that Trent Williams, outside of the inside the interior, they made sure that they're getting outside as well, making sure that they get creases outside, do the tosses, do the pitches, anything that they can to spread out this front 4.
3rd and 5, and Chris Thompson, the 3rd down back, number 25, is in the game. And this pass is going to be caught short of the first down, however. And Pierre Garçon with his first reception of the game, just shy of the first down. And so now the question is, what does Jay Gruden do? And the ball just outside the 21-yard line. Of course, let's see where they spot the ball. And let's see if the Redskins are short.
Last week they were in the same situation. They were going to go for it, but then they peeled back and ended up kicking the field goal. This time it's clear they were able to get the first down. Garçon showing what he does best, catching in traffic, and he is one of the most physical receivers in the NFL.
Boy, with Reed and Garçon, they do have some physical receivers that they can go to. Morris is in the game now on a first down at the 20-yard line. Cousins perfect 5 for 5 to start this game. The pitch going to Morris off the left side, nearly tripped up, and finally the Rams converge. And a loss on the play of a yard. Robert Quinn and Alec Ogletree. Ogletree very active so far in this first half. And a flag is down. Our first penalty of the game, Ed Hockley, in his 26th year, the referee.
Holding, offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Holding called against tight end Jordan Reed.
T.J. McDonald is the prototype safety that Greg Williams loved. He can come down, be a force at the line of scrimmage, comes up with another big stop, big hit. More importantly, you see the rest of the Rams defense rallying, being relentless, and making sure they're all flying to the football.
10 tackles last week for McDonald. Now it's 1st and 20 after the penalty, and Cousins has time and overthrows the intended receiver Ryan Grant. And that will bring up 2nd down and 20 from the 30.
We talked about in the open, this is what caused the problems and the troubles for the Washington Redskins in the second half last week. The penalties took them out of the 3rd and shorts where Kirk Cousins is most comfortable, and with a young right side of the offensive line, these 2nd and 20s, the 3rd and longs are the situations that they cannot be in.
11 penalties last week, tied for 2nd in the league. On the delay, here is Morris, but he's not going to get much. Stopped at the 30-yard line by Chris Long after a gain of 1. Can you imagine Chris Long, only in his 7th year, yet he has the longest tenure on this Ram team. Third down and 19. Chris Thompson to the right of Cousins. And coming underneath, the completed passes to Garçon, and the Rams are quickly there. And that'll be 4th down as Garçon is tackled at the 30-yard line. And now we're going to see the new kicker, Dustin Hopkins, who had kicked for the Saints in preseason, and what he can do from a relatively longer distance. This will be a 46-yard try for Dustin Hopkins, who took over for Kai Forbath, who was released after last game. Strong leg, that's obvious, and the kick is good. Dustin Hopkins with a field goal, and the Redskins have stretched their lead now to 10-0. Under a minute remaining in the first quarter. Dick Stockton, David Deal, and Christina Pink. Redskins dominating in the first half, but losing to the Dolphins here last week. And the Rams winning that thrilling overtime game against the Seattle Seahawks. And Hopkins will be kicking off. Benny Cunningham will be deep for the Rams. They wanted the strong leg. How about the 3rd row of the stands after the end zone?
Lucky souvenir for family. You know they run and grab that football right away. This isn't baseball.
So Dustin Hopkins is given a pretty good account of himself in his first NFL game kicking. And the Rams will start from the 20.
It's going to be important to see what they're going to do on offense now. They tried getting the screen game. They tried doing different things. But once again, I think in some fashion, they can still get Tavon Austin to be a disguise for opening it up for Trey Mason down the middle.
Well, right now, David, he's lined up as the tailback. And he gets the handoff. Tavon Austin gets it out to the 23-yard line where Ryan Kerrigan makes the tackle. So far, the Redskins have outgained the Rams 141-35.
The Washington Redskins came out firing. They knew that they wanted to get started early. They knew they wanted to get the run game going, and they've done a great job of that. But also, I'm excited about Joe Barry and the way this defense is playing.
2nd down and 7. Final seconds of the first quarter. Here's Trey Mason. And Mason is going to be tackled. No gain on the play. And it was Ricky Jean-Francois. Boy, they've got a lot of depth as well. And the final seconds of the first quarter, and that'll do it. Very successful first quarter for Washington. After 1, it's 10-0. Redskins lead the Rams. Start of the second quarter, and Jay Gruden has to like what he's seen on both sides of the football thus far. Meanwhile, it'll be 3rd down and 7 for Nick Foles and the Rams on the 23. Jared Cook, tight end, in motion. Flag down. Foles flips it underneath, and it's caught by Kenny Britt, but tackled by Keenan Robinson. So we'll see what the penalty is all about, and it was a long count for sure.
It most certainly was. They were trying to use the snap count in the road, on the noise, and that's something that you don't see.
Defense, number 91, 5-yard penalty.
It worked.
Repeat 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down and 2.
That's something that you don't see out of Ryan Kerrigan, a veteran, disciplined player. I know he wants to get a jump on the count, but most important, he's got to watch that football to still be able to come off and not get that penalty.
The Browns and the Buccaneers each had 12 penalties last week. The Redskins were tied with the Bills, second with 11. So now 3rd down and 2. From the 28. And here is Cunningham, stopped in the back, in trouble. And Cunningham will be stopped for no gain. Good penetration by Perry Riley Jr., the linebacker, and that stalled Cunningham, who goes out of the game. Maybe shaken up a bit.
Perry Riley Jr. comes in, and who they love, Cook, just got destroyed in the backfield. Just lowered the boom. That penetration didn't give Cunningham anywhere to go. Defense rallies around it, comes up with a big stop on 3rd down.
So let's see if that will spark the Rams, who get a big defensive stop after giving up a touchdown.
Timeout, St. Louis. That's their first.
And the Rams call the timeout here, early here in the second quarter, 10-0. We'll be back in just a moment.
Today's game is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company and the entirely new Lincoln NKX. And by Samsung, introducing the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus and the new Galaxy Note 5.
Yeah, because I don't know why they would have Cook in the backfield.
4th down.
Why would
We're back here, and Jamison Crowder is back deep, and Johnny Hecker. And Crowder gets buried, the loose ball, and he was down by contact. The officials rule. Stedman Bailey forced the fumble, and Crowder recovered. What was your question about Crowder? You were wondering something there, David.
Well, Crowder was somebody that they were excited about to get the opportunity today to catch those punt returns because they believe that he has the ability to take that ball to the house. But going back to that 3rd down play, I know that you love Jared Cook in the passing game, but he's not an H-back that you want on a 3rd and 1. You want to put Corey Hartney under the lead block.
He's a tough one. Hand off to Matt Jones. And Jones is stopped by Michael Brockers. Good penetration there. And a loss of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 12 from the 17-yard line. And so the Rams defense so far has not shown exactly what they did last week against Seattle. Cousins is 6 for 7 passing. And the rushing game has been outstanding to the tune of 100 yards. And here's the pass to Garcon. He's tackled immediately. And Garcon is stopped at the 21.
There's that rhythm and tempo that we want to see out of Kirk Cousins when he's at his best. Get that back foot in the ground, go through your progressions, and rip it.
What is it that the Rams defensive line is not doing?
Well, right now, with 3rd and 7, they're not getting the attack and the penetration that they did last week by the stunts that they were running up front.
Credit to the offensive line with a couple of young players as well, and nearly picked off by Trumaine Johnson. Trumaine Johnson, suffering a concussion, came out of last week's game. Pass protocol in there and nearly picked one off.
He's going to the top to Ryan Grant. He breaks off in the deep post, but you see the jump that Johnson gets on the football. Kirk Cousins lucky that he didn't get that one picked off, because Johnson and the rest of this defense, like they all said, they thrive on these turnovers, and they're going to need to, by the way that the Redskins offense is playing.
And Cousins, by the way, has had a penchant for throwing interceptions, and he knows as well as anyone he needs to cut down his mistakes.
It's a 30-second
timeout called by the Redskins, and it's their first.
And when does he almost throw those interceptions? When they're in the 3rd and longs, the 3rd and 8s, the 3rd and 10s. Those are the tough ones for him.
Well, a surprising start to this game with the Rams leading by a score or trailing 10-0 in this game, and Jay Gruden trying to get his first victory of the season, and the Redskins calling a timeout. And 4th down, and Tress Way will be kicking, and Tavon Austin is back deep, looking for good field position. Short kick, and the Rams will let it drop, and it takes another Redskin roll, but it'll end up around the 35-yard line.
There was no running into the kicker. The punter fell down.
44-yard kick, no return for Way. And back here at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, where the Redskins are leading the Rams by a score of 10-0. It'll be a 1st down for the Rams on the 36. Best starting field position so far for the Rams, who have punted in all 4 of their previous possessions. Tavon Austin going in motion. They fake the end around, and Foles drills it, and it's through the hands, incomplete, of Lance Kendricks. And 3 flags are down at the line of scrimmage.
Holding, offense, number 27. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 1st down.
That's running back Trey Mason, so they're going to set him back.
I know a lot of people are going to put the blame on Nick Foles right now, but you've got to give a lot of credit to the Washington Redskins. They're getting him off his spot. They're making him roll out of the pocket. They sniffed the screen early. They're making him release it before he wants to get rid of it. They've got a nice game plan going on right now, being physical up front, and that's the big difference that we've seen from last year to this year, the physicality of the Washington Redskins.
Well, the Rams have won 3 of the last 4, including last December here in a shutout, 24-0. Those are Foles' numbers. It'll be 1st and 20, back at the 26. And the pass caught, and they get it out to the 23 by Jared Cook. And they still have a long way to go, gain of 7 yards, so they still have about 13 for the 1st down. Big question, and you mentioned it coming into this game, that the Rams have to gain momentum. They'll win a game, they'll look good, and all of a sudden they'll go back to an inconsistent state. You talked about it at the outset. They have to prove that that won't be the case anymore. 2nd down and 13. And the pass is thrown behind Jared Cook. And that will bring up 3rd and long.
They run the play action, sell the fake inside, try to get him out. But those are 2 footballs that Nick Foles has thrown behind and outside of Cook, where he could not catch that. And Cook's a player who has big range. He's a 6'4", 6'5" tight end who's almost like a big wide receiver out there. Just put it in an area where he can catch it, and he'll come up with the grab.
You were just showing us replays where Foles may not have been at fault, but the last two he has been.
Most certainly.
3rd down and 13. Benny Cunningham is in as the 3rd down back. Redskins looking for another stop here. Foles getting rushed, and he completes it to Cunningham, but he's tackled 11 yards shy of the first down. Jason Hatcher with good pressure made it difficult for Foles, and so the Rams will have to kick for the 5th straight time in this game.
Jason Hatcher, Ryan Kerrigan took the rookie offensive lineman, right tackle Havenstein for a ride. He was able to sell the outside, but he turned it into a bull rush. Put him right in the lap of Nick Foles where he could not have the vision to set it up. Goes with the little check down. Another nice stop for the Redskins.
Crowder is back, and he'll let it drop. And now he decides to pick it up and will be stopped at the 18-yard line. Well, thus far, it's been the Redskin defense that has overshadowed the Rams defense, and they've been running the ball. It's been Redskins all the way. We'll be back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football.
On the Redskins, defensively have done superbly. This is what they've done offensively with Matt Jones and Alfred Morris. Morris is in the game right now at running back, and the quick out to the right side to Garcon. Jay Gruden. Now, you can sense something different about the Redskins. It's developing, don't you?
You could sense the toughness and the physical aspect. You can see that there's been a culture change. Started last year with Jay Gruden, now coming into his 2nd year. But the new GM, Scott McCloughan, understands how important it is to have the interior offensive line and defensive line be the strength of your team. And you saw a change when they drafted Brandon Scherf with that 1st-round pick.
They want more physical play, and right now they have 3 tight ends. That's the way they started the game. 2nd down and 7. Designed roll out by Cousins, and goes against the grain. Completes the pass to Reed, and he'll have a 1st down. Jordan Reed getting 8 yards and a 1st down for the Redskins.
Nice job by Jordan Reed, knowing that his quarterback was in trouble, making sure he stayed on the move, came back to the football, and got that 1st down. These are the types of plays that this Redskins offense needs to have. May not be pretty, may not be exactly what you designed, but no matter what, get the job done.
1st down at the 30 for Washington, leading 10-0. And here is Morris moving the pile up to the 31-yard line, pickup of about 2 or 3. Running game has set the tone for this Redskin team. Longest run from scrimmage for the Rams has been 4 yards by Trey Mason, and a couple of 30-yard runs by both Morris and Jones thus far. Now 3 wide receivers line up on 2nd and 8. And this time they go to Morris off the left side. Breaks a tackle, gets another 1st down. Just shy of the 40-yard line. Nick Fairley and Rodney McLeod make the tackle, but Morris with 121 yards last week gives the Redskins what appears to be another 1st down.
One of the matchups we talked was in the passing game, but look at Trent Williams take Robert Quinn off the ball at the point of attack, but is smart enough to pull his hands off at the last minute. Your feet get beat, get your hands off to make sure you don't get that holding penalty.
Why, did you have tricks like that?
I've been called numerous times for that holding call, unfortunately, but like I said, great job by being a veteran, Trent.
But you never held, right?
No, it's only illegal when you get caught.
The play action on 1st down. Out of the backfield is Matt Jones, and Matt Jones gets dragged down inside Ram territory at the 44 by Alec Ogletree, and an 18-yard pickup for the Redskins. What a show they're putting on here in the 1st half.
Nice job by Matt Jones, catching it out of the backfield, getting upfield. Talk about toughness. Look at Pierre Garcon. Isn't open, sees that Jones catches it, makes sure he turns around and makes a block.
I guess football has never really changed, has it?
No, it hasn't. Takes all 11, Dick.
1st and 10 at the 43, movement in the line. And no signal yet given.
Great hard count by Kirk Cousins.
And it's against the Rams.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty was first down.
That's Aaron Donald. So I tell you, the Redskins have the Rams totally off balance right now.
They really are. And like I said, Kirk Cousins did a great job with the hard count there. Aaron Donald is a player that wants to beat the guards off of the ball. That time they got him.
So now first down and 5 on the Ram 38. Morris. Flag is down, and Morris would have the first down pending the penalty call, as Ogletree, who's been involved on at least 6 tackles thus far, and the flag thrown back down at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if it's holding against Washington.
Holding, offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Jordan Reed, that's the second penalty for Reed.
I think they called the wrong number on that one. I think it was on Carrier, number 89, at the point of attack against Robert Quinn. I think right here is where they got him. Reaching, gets his hands outside the framework.
Yeah.
It's an easy call for the officials.
Well, that halts the Redskin momentum, albeit briefly. First down and 15. Back at the 48. Matt Jones in the game, and he's going to carry off the right side. Look at the speed by Matt Jones as he stumbles forward and gets about 7 more yards and finds himself and the Redskins inside the 25. Morgan Moses, the young right tackle, with a key block on that play. 25-yard gain.
Started with Moses, but more importantly, Jordan Reed, who is known as a pass catcher, does a great job against Robert Quinn. Just gets him, seals it, breaks it.
And Matt Jones, 63 yards on 4 carries, averaging nearly 16 yards a rush, remains in the game. First down on the 23 of St. Louis. Here's Jones again. Dives inside the 20. Ogletree again with the stop. And a good 5 or 6 yard carry on first down.
The good old Russ Grimm quote. There's no better feeling taking a man from point A to point B against his own will. This front for the Washington Redskins is doing that right now.
Russ Grimm, one of the great hogs in the offensive line for so many years for the Redskins. It'll be second down and 6. They're sticking with Matt Jones, the rookie from Florida, and he gets the ball again, and Jones grabs some tacklers. He'll be short of the first down by about a yard, but he gets to about the 15, picking up 5.
Look at the dominance up front. Last week, 198 yards on the ground. Look at today, 216 in the first half. This is the exact game plan that they drew up and they've executed all week. They're taking the practice to the game field, and they are taking this dominant St. Louis Rams defensive line out of the game.
If you want to take the pressure off of Kirk Cousins, run the ball like they have. Third down and 2, and the quick caught first down, Ryan Grant. And they're getting the plays in a hurry, and what a crisp offense we've seen from Kirk Cousins, and a great applause from the grateful fans here at FedEx Field.
You could see the St. Louis defense starting to wear down on this long drive, and Kirk Cousins is doing a great job. He's not taking his time, he's not being patient, he's got a groove, and he's making sure that they stay in it.
3 tight ends again. Alfred Morris comes in. First and goal at the 7. They go to Morris, and Morris is tackled immediately by Aaron Donald.
With all that said, the biggest part of it now, finish. Finish this drive with a touchdown. Do not settle with the field goal. Make sure you finish this drive, keep building on the confidence moving forward for the rest of the game.
And that's a good point, David, because what you're basically saying is don't let them up. Don't let the Rams up here.
Nope. Keep your foot on the gas and keep rolling.
Second and goal from the 6. This is the 11th play of the drive. Here's Morris, and he gets to about the 4 or 3. T.J. McDonald, the tough, strong safety, coming up and making the play. Pickup of 2, so now it'll be third and goal. They'll mark it at the 4.
And when we talked to James Laurinaitis about this football game, he said, We have got to show who we are consistently week in and week out. Our MO is known that we come to show up one week, the next week we don't. Right now, we're seeing that the Washington Redskins showed up.
And the best way for the Rams to get back in it is to stop the Redskins here on 3rd and goal from the 4. And here is the pass to the end zone. Touchdown, Pierre Garçon. Garçon with his first touchdown catch of the year. And Cousins with his second TD throw. And it's 16-0 Redskins. What a statement they have made on both sides of the ball.
They sure have. Pierre Garçon is a physical player. You see him one-on-one against Janoris Jenkins. Just use his physicality. Breaks off. You see Janoris Jenkins bounce off. I know he's calling for the flag, but they're letting him play.
No question about that. Dustin Hopkins. And the kick is good, and it's 17-0. So basically, Garçon just posted up like in basketball. Here's what he did. 12-play drive. They went 82 yards for the score. Here's the scoring drive, and they used nearly 8 minutes on that drive. What is Jeff Fisher saying to his team now?
Go back to basics. Go back to the fundamentals. Right now, they are not playing the way they played last week, let alone the way that they're capable of. Too many miscues, too many negative plays, and the Redskins are taking advantage.
This kick by Hopkins, that's why they got him, because of the strength of leg for kickoffs more than anything else. And now the Rams start from the 20.
This is the matchup that Pierre Garçon wants all the time. Give me one-on-one, let me post up, let me use my body, and I'm going to come up with the play. Nice job, Kirk Cousins, getting it outside where Jenkins can't come up with it, because we know Jenkins is a player who hawks the ball. He wants to come after it. He wants to create those turnovers, but he's susceptible to the double moves.
4-yard touchdown pass. Cousins, 12 of 14. How about that percentage for 115 yards? So now with 3:02 to go in the first half, Tavon Austin has the ball, and Austin gets it out close to the first down. He may be getting that first down. Well, the notorious Conor McGregor is back, and he's taking over an all-new season of The Ultimate Fighter.
They call me an instigator. What the? A troublemaker. A wild card and a rebel. So don't miss an all-new Ultimate Fighter Wednesdays only on FS1.
10-yard gain and a first down for the Rams up to the 30. Play action to Mason. Foles going deep to Austin, but not even close. Wanted to go deep to Tavon Austin and Deshaun Golson, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and D'Angelo Hall, the veteran, who was shaken up last week with a rib injury covering.
Nice job by Ryan Kerrigan again, faking like he's going to do an outside speed rush, plants his foot in the ground, gives the one-hand stab, puts Havenstein in the back lap of Nick Foles, where Trey Mason had to come out to help, where he couldn't get out on the check down.
He had to get rid of it in a hurry. You're absolutely right. Nick Foles, second down and 10. Foles to the outside to Mason, who's tackled immediately, picking up 2 yards, but D'Angelo Hall was there to put the hit on.
One of the lost starts by cornerbacks, tackles in open field. Nice play by D'Angelo Hall, wrapping up, getting down, making sure he wraps up, getting low, and not letting him out.
That's the 2-minute warning.
And
2 minutes.
2-minute warning here at FedEx Field. It's been all Redskins, offensively, defensively, and special teams. Well, get apps, videos, and more at iTunes.com/NFL.
Let's see if the Redskins defense can keep up with the trend, because right now St. Louis is 0 for 5 on third downs.
They need 7. Foles incomplete. Now they're 0 for 6. Jared Cook. That wasn't that bad a pass to Cook either.
No, it wasn't. Will Blackman, who was just signed this week by the Washington Redskins, on the coverage. Well, that's a ball that you have to catch. Cook, you are the reliable receiver. You're the one that they want to put the ball in the hands of on third down. That ball touches your hands. You need to catch it.
Blackman played for your Giants.
Yes, he did. He played for the Giants. He was on the Seahawks. He's just been injury-plagued throughout his career.
Hecker kicking. Looked like the Redskins were coming in to try to get a piece of it. Crowder. And Crowder is brought down. Good coverage that time by the Rams punt team as the Redskins, they'll mark it in the neighborhood of the 15-yard line. 50-yard kick, and Maurice Alexander was the Ram defender downfield who did the job on Crowder. So 1:44 remaining in this first half. And the ball is on the 18. How about the running game? 123 yards in this first half. Jones with 71, and he's in there now, and Morris with 52. Jones, and he picks up 2. Ethan Westbrooks was there. This is not what you would expect from a Greg Williams defense.
No, it isn't, and I understand that you're very excited about your front four, but the St. Louis Rams defense was a lot more aggressive last week, pressuring, blitzing, bringing things to the backside of the quarterback, shooting the corner blitzes.
Why the change?
I think that they thought that they could rely on their front four right now, but they didn't expect the Redskins offense and the offensive line to play the way that they are today.
2nd down and 8. They go to Jones again, changes direction. And it's Alec Ogletree. Well, defensively, Alec Ogletree gets a gold star for what he has done in this first half, that's for sure.
Alec Ogletree is a linebacker that can run like a safety. He can hit, he can cover. So they're excited about his playmaking ability.
So now 3rd down and 7, and the Redskins are 3 for 6 in 3rd down conversions. That's Williams, who's as puzzled as
Timeout, St. Louis.
anyone.
That's their second.
And the Rams.
It's a 30-second timeout.
Call a timeout, looking to get the ball again. Right now, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
I'm Kurt Menefee here on the red carpet where we're getting ready for the 67th Primetime Emmys later on tonight on Fox. All the stars will be out here in just a bit, including our guys, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. We will get you all caught up on all 10 games going on in the early window here in the NFL. That's on the Visa halftime.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. And I'll tell you, the last time the Redskins shut out an opponent in the first half was 4 years ago. Jay Gruden's club trying to do that. Today it's been 61 games. That's the longest active streak in the league. 3rd and 7. Matt Jones. And Jones tackled short of the first down by about a yard or so. And
Timeout, St. Louis. That's their 3rd and final timeout.
3rd
30 seconds.
and final timeout. And we'll get the ball back. Well, the one thing I'm going to say is I'm never going to pick a fight with this guy. You know, and I think that you would bury me pretty fast.
I still got it. I may have lost some weight and I'm 2 years retired, but I think I still got it.
Yes, you do. Well, you have to be as stunned as anyone over this first half from what you expected.
You know, I am a little bit stunned, but once again, you've got to give a lot of credit to the Washington Redskins. Last year when they played this team, they were blank. They did not score a single point. So they were excited and amped up for this football game. And they've made the adjustments from last week to this week. They've made the corrections. They've come out. They've stuck to their game plan. But more important, players are executing. They're playing physical. They are playing tough. And they are finishing plays more than the St. Louis Rams.
Tressway with the kick. Short kick. Redskins with a huge edge in total yards. That was a 28-yard punt by Way. So no timeouts remaining for the Rams. They have the ball on the Redskin 45. Well, we saw what Romo did with no timeouts against your former club on Sunday night last week. course, they got a strong kicker in Zerline as well. Foles is 6 for 13 for only 45 yards. Lost this one, incomplete, intended for Stedman Bailey. And so with 17 seconds remaining, it's second down.
You know, they're trying to take some shots. They're trying to stretch to hopefully come away with a field goal before the half. But nice coverage by the Redskins, making sure they're keeping the ball in front of them, not giving up any easy catches. And they understand how important it is to keep this lead, making sure build the momentum, build it, and stay with it so you get it in the second half.
D'Angelo Hall knows that as well as anyone, as does Keenan Robinson. It'll be 2nd and 10. Foles being flushed again and has to throw it away. So good pressure coming in again this time. That from Chris Baker. And now it'll be 3rd down and 10 with 11 seconds on the clock.
That time the Washington Redskins only came with a 3-man rush, but you see down the middle, you see Baker pushing it, you see Stephen Paya on Robinson at left tackle. They're getting hits on the quarterback, and right now Nick Foles is very unsettled.
Longest play from scrimmage, 15 yards in the pass to Kendricks, the tight end. That's been it. On 3rd and 10, Foles' pass, and it's caught by Jared Cook. First down, but they can't stop the clock, and the time is going to run out. They won't get a play off, and that'll do it for the first half. Redskins ought to bottle it. They couldn't have played any better. It's halftime with the score, the Redskins 17 and the Rams nothing. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report, which starts now. By Nissan. And that was today's excitement, brought to you by Nissan. A surprising score at halftime with the Redskins leading the Rams by a score of 17-0. So now you've been in these locker rooms before in the same kind of situation. What would the coach be telling to his team, and how can they respond?
I would say on the St. Louis side, offensively, they've got to get the ground game going. They've been trying to stretch the field, which I understand they want to try to take advantage of a hurt secondary, but they've been ineffective at doing it. So they've got to do something to establish the ground game, get some play action going to open things up. Defensively, they've got to be way more aggressive. You expect more out of a Greg Williams defense, blitzing, bringing more than they have blockers. They haven't done that in the first half.
I want to ask you another thing. The Redskins get the ball to start the second half as we take a look at the first half stats and, look at the rushing and look at the overall domination by the Rams. The defense can probably set the tone on the first possession.
They really can, but you know that they're going to come out firing. They're going to try to continue with the momentum to move forward. And this has been where the Redskins had a tale of two halves last week. They started off hot. They took over the time of possession, ran the ball effectively, but the penalties in the second half absolutely killed them. The 3rd and manageables they had in the first half were 3rd and longs. They cannot afford that.
Well, so far the Redskins have committed 3 penalties, the Rams 2. And right now let's send it down to Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, clearly not the same Rams defensive front we saw a week ago. Unable to get pressure on Kirk Cousins up front. When I asked Jeff Fisher about it at the half, he said, look, first and foremost, we have to stop the run. We also need our offense to help keep our defense off the field. But he said, look, we still got another half to go. And I also talked to Jay Gruden and asked him about getting Matt Jones some more touches in that first half. He said ball security, number one. He's certainly productive today and getting those yards after contact. He loved the combo of Alfred Morris and Matt Jones, and also said the defense keeping the Rams in 3rd and long. But he said we certainly have a long way to go.
And there is Matt Jones with a terrific first half, 39-yard touchdown, his first NFL touchdown. And last week they had 6 sacks. Did the Rams defense against the Redskins have 1 so far in this game? And a year ago when they played here in December, they had 7.
And that 1 sack was Aaron Donald. It wasn't from a blitz. It wasn't from a linebacker or a secondary position. It was a one-on-one matchup. And I really like the emphasis that Jay Gruden is putting on controlling the football, making sure they don't create any turnovers, because you know that's what Greg Williams and the team were yelling. We have got to create turnovers. We have got to get more opportunities to our offense.
Well, David, let's see if this first possession can tell a little bit of a story. It's not going to mean the whole game, but if the Rams can come back and show the kind of aggressiveness that you're talking about from Greg Williams, that may help them when they get the ball first.
It'll give them some life, because this first half, it almost feels like they've been flat, and the Redskins' momentum has been doing nothing but going up.
Rashad Ross is back, former track star at Arizona State, inactive last week, and this ball will go to the back of the end zone, and so the Redskins will start at the 20-yard line. Kirk Cousins, 12 of 14 for 115 yards and the touchdown pass to Garcon, who caught 5 passes. They were all short passes to him, but that's the kind of physical receiver he is, and he caught the TD reception as well. Whistle. They had to get they had to get a football in there, David. First and 10 at the 20. Here's the rush. Catch is made and the tackle is made. Ryan Grant is tackled by Janoris Jenkins, and they only get about a yard.
Came out passing, but sure enough, you still have Alfred Morris back there. Gained a couple, but get it on the ground. Get yourself once again in those third and manageables, the third fours, third and fives. That's where they've been able to convert.
They started the game using 3 tight ends, and it worked for their running game. They have 3 wide receivers out there now on 2nd down and 8. Here's Morris. And the Rams are there. Aaron Donald making this tackle. So at least the Rams have the Redskins in a 3rd and long.
They do. This is what the Rams defense needed to do. You saw Aaron Donald penetrate, run that down from the backside. But this is where they have to turn it up. This is where you make your hay. This is where you make your money up front, and where this defense can create the opportunities for their offense.
It'll be 3rd down and 10. Showing a pressure and false start called. You know, they saw LaMarcus Joyner,
number 77, 5-yard penalty,
who was left uncovered, and Sean Laval guilty of the false start. So now it's 3rd down and 15.
And that was what you want. Kirk Cousins had a hard count. They showed the blitz up further. They showed their hand, but you got to hold your water. You can't have that penalty.
From the 15, passes out to Roberts, Andre Roberts, who is tackled immediately by LaMarcus Joyner, and that'll bring up 4th down. This is the first time in the game that the Rams defense have held the Redskins to 3 and out.
Nice play by Joyner. You see Jordan Reed is the one that's going to try to block him. He's able to get upfield, out of the block, and come up with a big tackle. Jordan Reed would have made that block. They would have gained some yards, but I don't think it would have been enough for the first.
Joyner with an outstanding game against the Seahawks as well. Tress Way kicking from the 5-yard line and nearly blocked. Tavon Austin will let it roll, and it will be decent field position for the Rams, although Way got a good bounce for that one. Nearly blocked. 53-yard kick. Here's how close the Rams came. And it was Maurice Alexander who nearly got a piece.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Hyundai, an official sponsor of the NFL. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Burger King. Try our Oreo Red Velvet Shake. Now you can have your cake and drink it too.
And the Redskins cheerleaders entertaining the fans as the Rams have the ball. They have only 17 yards rushing. Foles has thrown for only 59 yards. Paltry offense, to say the least. So far, first possession of the second half. from the 32-yard line, and they give it to Tavon Austin, and Austin breaks one. Austin has a first down and goes out of bounds around midfield. So Austin had the 10-yard end around for the rush, and 16 yards on this play.
There's that jet sweep explosiveness. They take him across. They hand it off to him. You see Harkey lead block at the front. Gets him to the second level, and his speed is what just takes it away and breaks it.
Baltimore native coming back to play in the state of Maryland. First round draft pick in 2013. First down at the 48 of St. Louis. And here's Mason changing direction. Trey Mason, first down, holding on to the ball as the Redskins try to strip it away, and a first down to the 39.
This is what we were talking about earlier, taking Tavon Austin, give him his touches. When you run that jet sweep and you have to contain outside, it forces the defense to spread out, and that's where now they're running it inside. Get that extra stretch, and Trey Mason gets 13.
And Austin comes out of the game, and he's replaced by Stedman Bailey, another West Virginia Mountaineer from the 39. And movement in the line, and a whistle, and a penalty, and it's a false start call against the Rams.
False start, offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Tight end Lance Kendrick, so it's now 1st and 15. How about those dead ball fouls?
These are what are hurting them right now. They're 1-7 on third downs, and these are the opportunities. You get a good momentum play, that little hitch, you're getting things going offensively, but you're hurting yourself. You're not giving yourself the best opportunities.
Tavon Austin remains on the sidelines right now. 3 wide receivers and Trey Mason, the tailback. 1st and 15, and the pass high and off the hands of Kenny Britt. Not a great percentage pass there for Nick Foles.
No, it wasn't. That's one that you know that you have to get to the boundary, to outside, because you have Perry Riley Jr. closing from the inside out. Put that ball out there where he can catch it and he can turn up and gain you some extra yards.
Working on Tavon Austin with his left leg on the sideline, stretching it out. 2nd down and 15. Foles flips it off to Trey Mason, and Mason's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. So now it'll be 3rd down and 15, and arguably whether you be in field goal range right now. Well, Austin is back in the game, and the Rams at least need to get something to at least get a shot at points.
They really do, because if they do not, once again, the Washington Redskins are taking the momentum and putting it on their side of the ball. So right now, 1-7, that is not the third down percentage and the downs that you need here.
3rd and 14. Foles. And the pass caught by Cunningham, and Cunningham is stopped at the 34-yard line, so they do have field goal range for Greg Zuerlein right now, as Trent Murphy and Perry Riley Jr. make the play after the 9-yard pickup, and the Rams will try to finally get some points. Greg Zuerlein will attempt a 52-yard field goal. Here's Zuerlein's kick. He's got the leg. Is it accurate? It is. The kick is good, and the Rams finally score. Good hold on defense, 3 and out. The penalty hurt him in a bid to get a touchdown, but it's now 17-3. There's the scoring drive. Zuerlein's 52-yard field goal, but the big play was Tavon Austin's 16-yard run. So now the Redskins leading by 2 touchdowns, as Zuerlein kicking deep to Rashad Ross, and that'll sail out into the box seats. And so Kirk Cousins, what a great percentage today, 14 for 16. More important, no mistakes.
sponsored by Verizon. Watch live local games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon.
This is an important drive for the Washington Redskins. The last drive was their first 3 and out of the game, but this is where last week they had the punt, interception, punt, and it all started with penalties.
First down, play action for Cousins. Cousins is going deep, incomplete. Trying to get it to Ryan Grant, but covered downfield by Janoris Jenkins, so Cousins trying to take a shot there. Well, this season, stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. It's really the first shot they've taken today.
It really has, because they really haven't had to take the shots because of the effectiveness of the ground game, the play action, and the crossing routes.
Balance, though, on the attack. It'll be 2nd and 10. Matt Jones in the game at running back. This pass is caught by Jamison Crowder. And Crowder picking up 7. Mike Hill with a game break.
Not the best debut for Jameis Winston last week. Much better this week against the Saints. Already threw for a touchdown. Here he is running it in. 17-7 Bucks in the 3rd. David, dig back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. And the quick pass is out to the tight end Jordan Reed, who gets extra yardage down the sideline. Pushed out of bounds and a first down. Ogletree on the play. They get 11 yards there. The Redskins so far are answering that field goal.
They really have. And the Redskins right now have a nice tempo going. They're not taking their time. They're getting in and out of the huddle. Kirk Cousins is doing a great job of managing this offense and putting them in positions to win.
And, you know, they have a great percentage passes. He's 16 for 19. So he hasn't really, he took one shot as we saw earlier. And the first down out at the 38 of Washington. Here is Matt Jones. And Jones will pick up about 3.5.
Could have had more on that. Keep your feet. Get those high knees going. You're going to go through traffic. You're going to have people in your way. Get those high knees, get that acceleration, and make sure you try to get those extra yards. But once again, hold on to that football.
We have not had a turnover in this game. Jones, meanwhile, 83 yards rushing. Garcon has a touchdown catch, and Cousins has been accurate. They go to Jones again. Jones loses the ball, fumble, and a scramble. And it appears that the Rams have recovered. Robert Quinn knocked the ball out of the hands of Matt Jones. And the Rams have recovered. Did I just say no turnovers in the game?
We did.
I thought I did.
Jinxed him, Dick.
I know. What power. Fumble recovery by T.J. McDonald. Since 2012, Robert Quinn has most forced fumbles in the NFL. And now the Rams with another opportunity at the 49 of the Redskins. First turnover of the game. Can Nick Foles and the Ram offense take advantage of it? And they flip it out to Trey Mason. Mason off the left side. Breaks the tackle. And dives forward.
Go back to that replay. Watch why Robert Quinn is an all-pro defensive end. Makes an inside move, sees the ball go outside. Reed cannot pin him. Just effort, gets outside, forces the fumble. Big momentum play, and this is what the St. Louis Rams defense needed. Get the ball to the offense, but get that momentum.
And it's the last thing the Redskins needed. You remember full well what happened in the second half last week against Miami. 2nd down and 1. Harkey lines up as a blocking back, and the fake end around. Foles is going to go deep into the end zone, and the pass is caught by Kenny Britt for the touchdown. Play action, and a flag goes down, and an official, the back judge, also slipped, but they had Tavon Austin end around, play action, and a 40-yard touchdown pass to Kenny Britt. And the flag.
I think he's going to get a taunting penalty after.
After the touchdown, taunting offense number 18. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The touchdown counts.
I love it when players are playing for a team that's trailing and taunt and do the kinds of things that get them out of just getting the job done. And we see it so often.
Because you're hurting your football team. Come up with a huge play, one-on-one against D'Angelo Hall. You beat him on the fly, big touchdown, but your team's still down. Come back and do it again.
So now Greg Zuerlein with the 33-yard extra point try in an attempt to bring the Rams to within 7. And Zuerlein, and the kick is good. No longer a gimme, but how about this play action, fake end around, 40-yarder to Britt, and the Rams back in it. Kenny Britt, and that was the first play of over 20 yards for the Rams in this game, catching a 40-yard touchdown pass as the Rams capitalize on the turnover and now trail 17-10 with 7:01 to go in the third. And because of the taunting penalty, Zuerlein will be kicking off from the 20. And that's Rashad Ross. Zuerlein has the leg, but this is going to be returnable for Ross at the 6. Rashad Ross, the former track star, gets upended at about the 30-yard line.
The big jet sweep earlier in the drive, and the last drive is what set this up. They fake it to Trey Mason. They fake it the reverse to Tavon Austin. You see all of the eyes go into the backfield to make sure that they try to contain him, but it's a play action. Kenny Britt runs that fly. All the eyes in the backfield with all the different movements. Kenny Britt is able to get behind D'Angelo Hall and come up with the touchdown.
Second touchdown pass of the year for Foles. Now a first down at the 30 for Kirk Cousins. Cousins flips it off to Morris. And Morris gets about 4.5 yards before Janoris Jenkins brings him down. Screen to Morris. Had an active game. Morris has 50 yards rushing.
I like the play call, and I understand that you had a nice, solid game. But what has gotten you to this point with the success? Running the football. Get back to the ground game. Control the line of scrimmage. Control the time of possession.
And you're right, David, and we haven't seen the 3 tight ends since earlier in the game. Second down and 6. We've got 2 tight ends in there now. And here is Morris, and he's going to be tackled for no gain by Robert Quinn. Quinn starting to make his presence felt here in the second half.
Robert Quinn was completely unblocked that one. He just rips off of the line of scrimmage, and that play had nowhere to go. You see him out here at the line. Nobody blocks him. He's one of the best defensive linemen on their team, and he was uncovered.
And really a loss of 3 on the play to be exact, so now 3rd down and 9. Rams have had the momentum so far in this third quarter, and it started with a 3-and-out defensive effort. And here's the pass, and slipping on the turn was Garcon. The pass incomplete, bringing up 4th down, and so the Rams are making this crowd wondering whether the Redskins may be in for the same fate that befell them last week against the Dolphins. Tressway will be punting, and Tavon Austin always the threat back deep. Ten unanswered points so far by the Rams in the second half. And Austin will let it drop, and it's down at about the 33-yard line. October means baseball, and FS1 continues to be your home for postseason action with the American League Division and Championship Series. So don't miss a moment of the drama and history beginning October 8th on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Already here in the second half and in the third quarter, they've got more yards than they had in the entire first half. 88 yards this quarter. You can see that they're getting life, and it all started with that field goal. Washington gained that little bit of life, and they've been able to take advantage, and they're trying to turn momentum back on their side.
And of course, defensively is the way the Rams started to do it here in the third quarter. Let's see if it follows suit, and the flag goes down, and the pass is incomplete Jared Cook, the intended receiver, and the flag came out of the secondary in a hurry. Ed Hockley, who said he had never refereed a game before he came to the NFL in his 3rd year of officiating. Always been a back judge, never a referee.
Illegal hands to the face, defense, number 26. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And a costly penalty, Rashad Breeland.
Interesting call away from the play. It's not one that you would have expected, but once again, another penalty. You cannot start and expect to have success when you're doing it to yourself.
First down and 5 in the 39 of the Rams. And this is going to be an end around to Chris Gibbons, and great play defensively by Keenan Robinson. Tell you what, the Redskins trying to make it happen, and we have another flag down at the 44-yard line. That would have been a loss of 5, but we'll see what the flag is all about.
Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 89. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
So that's on Jared Cook. Seeing a lot more penalties here in the 3rd quarter.
Great play by Keenan Robinson. Sees all the movement, doesn't let him fool him, stays home. And look at the athletic ability and closing speed. He's able to run down, track that one down, and come up with a huge tackle.
Meanwhile, because of the offensive penalty, to be first and 25, back on the Rams 24. Crowd back into this game. They were quiet for a while. Pressure on Foles, and the pass to the outside to Stedman Bailey, and he is hit immediately. No yards after the catch that time, and Trenton Robinson on the coverage. No gain when all is said and done. It'll be second down.
Another big down right here. Here we go. We're moving forward. Also, the Redskins are starting to build back up. They're starting to build back up, and they're getting the aggressive plays that they need to back up and put St. Louis in bad positions.
And remember, they still have the lead. They still have a touchdown lead. So if they can get the momentum back, it's a big advantage. And we'll have another foul, and this will be a penalty. False start against the Rams.
False start, offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Meanwhile, Tavon Austin, remember he came out of the game, has gone to the locker room, and we'll check to see what the status is of Austin, such a key operative for them, for the Rams.
Be a tough loss for him because his play and his explosive plays is what opened up things for the success and the touchdown for the Rams.
Who now have a second down and 30. Ball on the 19. Foles looking one way, and the pass caught by Chris Gibbons. And Gibbons tackled immediately. So if you throw underneath and you tackle quickly, you don't get much. And a tackle by Trenton Robinson after the 7-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and long.
Another nice play by Trenton Robinson. Taking the success, learning from last week. Nice open field tackle there. Let's see what they can do now. Rams, 1 and 8 on 3rd down. How are they going to respond?
Trenton Robinson back up his whole career in at strong safety for Duke Iheanacho, who's on injured reserve now. 3rd down and 23. Foles up the middle, and the pass is caught by Jared Cook. Cook trying to get extra yardage, but he'll have enough for the first. No, way short of the first down. They needed about 30 and stopped at the 35. And so the Redskins pumped up now as they hold the Rams.
They really are. The defense has really stepped up. Once something happens to your offense, the other side of the ball has to rally. The defense has stepped up. They're bailing out the offense right now, and they're going to give them some very good field position now. Hopefully the offense takes advantage.
Davison Crowder back deep. Good kick by Hecker. Crowder at the 14. And penalty marker down at about the place that Crowder caught the punt. And two more down. So 3 flags. Five officials in this conference. We may have a re-kick.
There were 2 fouls in the play, one by each team. Before the kick, there was an illegal substitution by the offense. Number 36 came on the field at the last moment and never set. During the punt return, there was an illegal block in the back by number 39. The foul is offset, will replay 4th down.
So David Amerson on one end and Benny Cunningham for the Rams.
They call that a wash.
And you know what? It was a long wash. All right, what's going on with Tavon Austin? Let's check in with Chris.
For right now, he just needed some hydration. Hot, sticky day down here on the field. Went back to get an IV, but I am told he will return.
All right, Christina, thank you very much. Here's the re-kick. Crowder. And they'll corral him shy of the 20-yard line. Well, our guys have been hanging on the red carpet all day, and tonight after the final scores are in, the biggest stars come out. Andy Samberg hosts the biggest night on television. Don't miss the 67th Emmy Awards live after America's Game of the Week right here on Fox.
It's really cool seeing Stray, Howie, and the boys doing the show from there. I'm sure they're excited.
You know, to me, the red carpet is always out for those guys. You know, it doesn't have to be on the night of the Emmys. How about the last possessions for the Redskins? 3 punts and the fumble in which the Rams capitalized. .206 remaining. There's a flag down on the far sideline. We have had a flurry of flags, haven't we, in the last
we most certainly
5 plays?
Have.
You wonder whether one of the defenders went out of bounds.
Punter out of bounds illegally on a punt. Number 24 went out on his own. That's a 5-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. Replay 4th down.
Another kick.
They're going to kick again. The guy who's I feel for right now is Johnny Hecker. Because Johnny Hecker says enough is enough. Isaiah Peed was the guy who went out of bounds.
Just runs out of bounds. The only way that you can do that is if they force you out of bounds. You can't take that as a clear lane and run away from the 2 people that are trying to vice you.
Johnny Hecker says, can we try to avoid either offsetting penalties or a penalty that forces me to kick again?
The only time he's kicked 3 in a row is in pregame.
That's right. Right now, Crowder is saying maybe I'll get one to really show what I could do on a return. This one heading toward the sidelines and will go out of bounds. Another flag, 2 more down at the 30-yard line.
Wow.
Is this punt, pass, or kick? I wonder what this is.
Seeing a lot of Ed Hockley.
Hearing a lot of Ed Hockley.
Yes.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 59. That's enforced from where the kick was caught. 1st down.
So it'll be a 1st down. At least we do not have a re-kick, David, so we're grateful for that.
Anytime I hear the name number 59, I think of London Fletcher. A lot of battles on this field. True veteran, smart
Forced
player.
from the out-of-bounds spot, half the distance.
And a player who never left the football field. So as an offense coming into this stadium, going up against him, you knew that you would have to be on your X's and O's because he could define things, he could point things out, and just communicate to the rest of the defense, all by visuals.
Well, now the Redskins will start from the 8-yard line after that penalty. And inside the 5, the pass is caught for about a 5-yard gain by Garcon, who caught touchdown pass from 4 yards out in the first half. There's Tavon Austin, and as Christina Pink mentioned, a little bit dehydrated, back on the field, so we'll see more of him, we think.
We're back to the 3 tight end look, Dick.
Second down and 4 at the 14. And here's Jones. Matt Jones close to the first down. Jones close to the first down, just shy of the 20-yard line, where Michael Brockers makes the tackle.
Great hit by Matt Jones. Lowers his pads, gets underneath Alec Ogletree, lowers the boom, and that's what allows him to get those extra yards for the first down.
So a first down for the Redskins, getting out of trouble. They're at the 19. 87 yards, now 92 yards rushing. There's a screen to Jones, and Jones gets it out. Up to the 26-yard line. William Hayes on the tackle, 7 yards, so they're picking away right now, the Redskins, on this offensive series.
They really are. Nice play by the center, Corey Lichtensteiger, and the left guard, Sean Laval, being able to get out there, get in space, make their blocks to get Matt Jones to spring.
Less than a half a minute to go in the third quarter. It'll be second down and 3. Jones again. And Jones will be short by a yard of the first down, and that should be the last play of the quarter. That is the end of the third quarter with the score.
That's the end of the third quarter.
The Redskins 17 and the Rams 10. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. We start the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton, along with, well, you like working with us up here, David?
Absolutely, I love it.
David Deal, Christina Pink. Score is 17-10. Foles bringing the Rams back somewhat with the help of their defense. It'll be third down and 1 for Washington on their 29-yard line. Handoff, and that's going to be Matt Jones. Gets more than enough and brings it out to the 40. He already shows great signs of being a top-notch running back.
He does. Kept those legs turning, but more importantly, after the fumble, he made sure to put it away.
10-yard pickup.
Look at the blocks here by Sean Laval and Trent Williams. Right at the point of attack, they get that double team on Aaron Donald, get up to the second level on Laurinaitis. That is clinic right there when you're looking at a 3rd and 1.
You know, that offensive line of the Redskins, unsung heroes to this point. First and 10, and here's Jones to the outside. Rams finally get there, but not before a pickup of about 4.
Had a lot of success running that football to the left side, and that one right there, that double team against a low leverage Aaron Donald, that's impressive.
100 yards for Matt Jones, 109 to be exact. As a team, the Redskins have gained 157 yards on the ground, about 100 more than the Rams have managed in the running game. Second down and 6. Alfred Morris now checks in. He hasn't done badly himself. Cousins behind, gets away from trouble, and Kirk Cousins is going to run for the first down into Ram territory, and we may have a holding penalty against Washington because one of the Rams linemen very nearly got him from behind.
I think they're going to call that on 77, Sean Laval.
Offense, number 77.
Exactly right.
10-yard penalty from the previous
You saw
spot.
it all the way.
Repeat second down.
Aaron Donald turned his secondary move into a rip inside, and that's where they got him. You see right here at that left guard position, you see Aaron Donald make that inside move, rip it through, and right there to where they got him.
So instead of a first down, it'll be second down and 16 as the Redskins are now back to their 33, leading by a touchdown early here in the fourth quarter, trying to go to 1-1. Here's Morris cutting to the outside, but the Rams are there, and a 2-yard pickup. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Mike Hill. Mike.
Nice day for the rookie out of Northern Iowa, David Johnson. A great day, 108-yard TD return on the opening kickoff here with a 13-yard TD run on Arizona over Chicago, 42-20. David, Dick, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. And so an NFC West Arizona Cardinal team trying to go to 2-0. Rams trying to go to 2-0, but trailing now, and this pass is caught underneath by Jordan Reed, and Reed gets a lot of those yards back, but not enough, and a punting situation coming up for Washington.
Had the big play on the Kirk Cousins scramble, but once again, the penalties. This is something that they need to fix, because once they get something going, they have the drive, they're getting positives. That one inconsistent play is what turned everything around.
And Tavon Austin, who went into the locker room, came back refreshed, obviously, is back. That's what he's done so far in 2 punt returns. Fair catch called for, and it takes a Ram bounce, knocked away and into the end zone, but it was touched at about the 25, 30-yard line, and that's where it will go. Rams have it.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Xbox One, the official game console of the NFL. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And the Rams, trailing the Redskins by a touchdown, have a first down on the 20. Tale of 2 halves. We talked about it for the Redskins last week. Rams 72 total yards in the first half, 104 so far in the second. And here is Tavon Austin on the handoff, and Austin getting a first down out to the 31-yard line. Robinson on the tackle.
St. Louis Rams, it's no coincidence they got back into this game. Built some confidence off of that field goal. Defense creates a turnover. Big shot, get it downfield. Kenny Britt. The unexecuted plays and penalties from the Washington Redskins are what kept St. Louis in the game.
And you know, the Rams got the 3 and out for the first possession of the second half, and that might have sparked them as well. First down at the 31 after Austin's end around. And trapped behind the line is Trey Mason by Ryan Kerrigan. Loose ball. And it's recovered by the Rams. Ryan Kerrigan, who played such a big role last week defensively for Washington, and Stedman Bailey, the wide receiver, was there to make the recovery. What a player he is.
Such a great player, consistent. You know, each and every time when you play up against this Redskins front, you have got to execute and you have got to finish Ryan Kerrigan, because he will run things down. Excellent getting his hands up in the screen game.
Did not play 1 snap in preseason.
Doesn't look like it.
Second and 10 at the 31. Foles to the outside, and it's caught by Kenny Britt. 5-yard gain, bringing up 3rd down and 6. Will Blackman has come into the game defensively in the secondary. Just signed this week. 9th year, as David mentioned. Good journeyman, good veteran. In motion is Chris Gibbons to the left. On 3rd down and 6. Pressure on Foles. He gets away. Can he find a target? He can't, and he's down. Deshaun Golson, the former Buck, who has become really a coach on the field for Joe Barry. And a 4th down punting situation for the Rams.
In motion, Gibbons out of the backfield, and Nick Foles was looking to go to the bottom of the screen, first him and then Cook. Great defense by the Redskins secondary. Try to fumble, force that just everything in, pressure all over him. Has nowhere to go.
So now Johnny Hecker will be kicking to Jamison Crowder. Crowder will field it inside the 15. And out of bounds he goes at about the 24. Joe Barry, who said we played well defensively, but not enough to win. He hopes today their defensive play is enough to win.
First-year defensive coordinator Joe Barry has shown a lot of excitement, and talking to all the Redskins defense, they love the energy that he brings, but more importantly, they feel that he knows the strengths and weaknesses to put people in position to win.
Alfred Morris for 1 yard on the play. And this game, if the Redskins hang on, it's going to be a defensive earned game. That's where the first star will be.
It most certainly will. All throughout this game, when they have needed to step up, they have, especially on third down. The fact that right now St. Louis is only 10% on third down and they were 55% last week, that is a big difference and a huge change.
Second down and 9. Cousins going to go down. Didn't get rid of it fast enough, and he needs to do just that as Nick Fairley, the former Lion, and Chris Long combined, and a loss of 4. Remember, 6 sacks in the opening game. They lose 4 yards here.
That's only the second sack. This is a huge change from last week to this week. That one's a coverage sack. You see Cousins trying to look downfield. That's one of the ones that you know that you could just get rid of the ball.
Third down and 13 on the 20. Movement in the line. Let's see if we have a encroachment penalty against the Rams here.
Neutral zone infraction, defense number 93. 5-yard penalty. It's still third down.
Call it on Ethan Westbrook, so 5 yards marked off, still third down. Still plenty of time to go, but this is a big down for the Rams defense. They were down 17-0 at the half. Outscore the Redskins 10-0 in the third quarter. Cousins goes underneath, pass is caught, and it'll be a first down for the Redskins. Chris Thompson, haven't mentioned him today. He was the kick returner last week, but he gets 9 yards and a first down.
Love the poise and confidence by Kirk Cousins. There's pressure, he feels bodies around him, but what does he do? He keeps his eyes downfield, shows his mobility and comfort in the pocket, steps up and delivers a very nice football in order to convert and keep their offense on the field.
Cousins 21 of 25 passing today. Now they're at the 35. Now they give it to Mac Jones. Jones has scored on a 39-yard touchdown run, has gained 109 yards. The rookie from Florida. They plan to use him a lot in this game. And in the and along with Alfred Morris, they have now a terrific 1-2 punch in the running game.
They most certainly do, and this is nothing but a benefit to this offense. I know you have momentum, and it's great to get Alfred Morris rolling, but when you can spell him and bring in another dimension and threat with athletic ability and toughness, what more could you ask for?
Second down and 9. Well, a win. Cousins completes it to Reed. Jordan Reed. And he'll be 5 yards shy of the first down. Well, we want to look at the running game. How about these numbers? Especially Morris. Morris had a big 25-yard run earlier, or 35-yard. But when you're averaging over 4 yards a carry and your running mate is nearly 7, you got the job done.
More important, they've got to continue to do that with the 6 minutes left on the clock.
Third down and 5. Pass is caught in stride by Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed spins his way down to the 31-yard line. A huge play. Rodney McLeod, the free safety, after a 29-yard pass and run, making the tackle, and a huge play for the Redskins. And an injured Ram, Janoris Jenkins, their ace cornerback, is injured and down at midfield. We'll take a break here at FedEx Field.
Sponsored by the all-new Audi A3 e-tron plug-in hybrid. Plug in and take names.
Janoris Jenkins out of the game. Marcus Roberson replaces him. He was in for Tremaine Johnson, who had a concussion last week, and the handoff is to Alfred Morris, and a face mask, an obvious face mask call. 3 flags go down. And I'll tell you what, that was kind of scary with what they did with Morris. And that was Robert Quinn.
This is the exact matchup you want. Jordan Reed one-on-one against Alec Ogletree. Gets Ogletree outside of his framework where he cannot jam him, reroute him at the line of scrimmage. That's exactly what they needed. And Kirk Cousins, look at how fired up he is about this drive.
And that was the previous play. And then, of course, the discussion on the face mask call here.
There were 2 fouls by the defense, both of them personal foul face mask. Number 91 is declined. Number 52 is enforced 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
They declined the call against Chris Long and took the Alec Ogletree face mask. And this one is going to hurt the Rams big time with 5:24 to go.
Number 94.
It was Quinn, not Long. As we thought, Robert Quinn. Here it is again.
Robert Quinn right here is the one that gets the face mask call.
So the 1-yard run plus the 15-yard penalty. They get 16 yards and a first down on the 15 of the Rams.
One word right now, Dick, finish.
Absolutely. Here's Morris charging his way to about the 13. Rockers making the play, picking up 2. This is huge for the Redskins right here. And you've been talking about both teams wanting to finish. Redskins fell short last week, and the Rams did win, but they're concerned about the finish too.
This is the exact type of drives that they had in the first half. Play action, run game going, get Jordan Reed involved. This is where they have their success and where they get Kirk Cousins comfortable.
Andre Roberts to the bottom of your picture. Alfred Morris is the setback with 2 tight ends. And Morris not going anywhere. Winding down to 4 minutes remaining in regulation. First half, 17-0. The Redskins came out dominating Jeff Fisher's team defensively. Their defensive team outplayed the widely heralded Rams defense. And then offensively, the running game, brilliant with the rookie Jones and Morris. And then the 10-point third quarter for the Rams to get back in it. Now we have a 3rd down and 8. 3 tight ends, and Matt Jones the setback. They go to Jones off the left side. He's got blocking. Jones fighting his way toward the goal line is tackled at about the 1-yard line by Ogletree. What a well-executed play as an offensive lineman, especially your side. You got to love it.
Big Sean Laval, the left guard, has been doing this all day, pulling out, getting out in front of this open sweep. See him right here, 77. Just lead blocking. Anybody, go ahead, get in my way. Nice play.
First and goal at the 4. Roberts, the only receiver, out to the right. Matt Jones, 119 rushing yards, already has 1 touchdown. And here is Jones. He gets tripped up and still gets a yard or so. And they're using that clock, and it stops at 2:41.
Timeout, St. Louis.
And the Rams
That's
call
their first
timeout.
Please reset the clock to 2:43.
Huge drop.
2:43.
This is how you
for
close
time.
out games. Controlling the line of scrimmage, taking care of the ball. And what do? You get your playmakers involved.
That's what they've done. And Jay Gruden hoping his team can finish the job. Week 2 continues later today on Fox and for some of you on CBS. And then tonight it's Sunday Night Football on NBC. And then tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. 12th play of the drive coming in. Matt Jones, the rookie, 120 yards, getting 28 on 6 carries in his debut last week. 2nd and goal. Here's Jones off the left side. Matt Jones, touchdown! Three-yard score, a 2nd touchdown of the game. And there is Kirk Cousins getting the crowd into it as well. And what a job he has done today. And that may be the score that seals it for the Redskins. Hopkins on for the extra point. They review all scoring plays, as you know, as well as all turnovers. So they're reviewing to make sure that the ball crossed the goal line.
That's a touchdown. Once again, look at 77 Sean Laval getting out in open space. Roberson wants absolutely nothing to do with him.
You have felt defensive backs in that situation, haven't you?
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
Waiting for the confirmation. And they have confirmed it was a touchdown for Matt Jones. Now Hopkins. Just signed this week, Dustin Hopkins. .46-yard field goal. Kicking into the end zone, clean all the way. Adds the 24th point for the Redskins. Here it is again, Matt Jones. The running game set the tone for the Washington Redskins today. And Matt Jones, who's the leading rusher in preseason for the Redskins, averaged 7 yards a clip, has averaged 6.5 in this game, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a 39-yarder, and the Rams will down it in the end zone, take the touchback, and start from the 20-yard line. So you're down by 2 touchdowns, 2:38 and 2 timeouts left, David.
You've got to get momentum plays going here. You've got to get Tavon Austin. You've got to get crossing routes. But it's very important that you use this time wisely because you only have 2 timeouts. Get it to the 2-minute drill, but they're going to need a big play here. They're not going to be able to just dunk down the field because the Washington Redskins have done a very nice job of stopping that.
Tell you, the scrimmage line has been big for the Redskins, both sides. Especially that offensive line.
Yes, it has.
First down. Here's what you're talking about. Foles downfield, and it's incomplete. Good coverage downfield by Bashaud Breeland on Kenny Britt. Let's check in with Mike Hill.
Hey guys, reminder, America's Game of the Week is coming up next. Tony Romo getting ready to go without Des Bryant, of course, in Philadelphia, taking on the Eagles and his former teammate, DeMarco Murray. I see more than the 8 carries he got last week. Eagles and boys next on Fox.
All right, Mike. Well, I guess without Des Bryant, he may have to do that for the Eagles if they want to control the ball against Romo and company. 2nd down and 10 from the 20. Only one way to go, and that's out to Benny Cunningham on the right side. And he stops the clocks. with 2:24 to go. So you're looking at the Eagles and the Cowboys. Cowboys with a miracle win last week, and the Eagles, who were shocked by Atlanta. What do you think?
This is a huge game to see how the Dallas Cowboys are going to respond without their threat, Des Bryant, who Tony Romo calls the lifeline of their football team.
You played against both of those teams, I have a feeling, including this one a couple of times. 3rd down and 4. And a good catch made by Jared Cook as he goes out of bounds, and now 2:19 on the clock. So they tried going deep, and now they have gone to the short pass. Time permitting, we'll have bonus coverage of the Giants and the Falcons. Right now, the Giants lead the Falcons 20-17 with about 3.5 to go in the 4th. But right here, Rams trying to get in position for a touchdown and then go from there. They have to go underneath again to Cunningham. Cunningham breaks a tackle and close to the 1st down. And the clock running down to the 2-minute warning. 1st down at the 41. And we will have the 2-minute warning here. So the Rams will have a 1st down at the 40, down by 2 touchdowns. Can Nick Foles perform
That's the 2-minute warning.
a miracle here, the way Romo did last Sunday against the Giants? Minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. The Rams trailing by 2 touchdowns have a 1st down on their 41-yard line. Redskins have been able to take away the deep pass. Cunningham can't hold on, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Have to give a lot of credit to the Washington defense, and on the offensive side of the ball, the Washington offensive line. But how about Kirk Cousins today? Throughout the entire game, never let down. And when we talked to him, you could just hear the confidence that he had in himself winning this battle at the quarterback position, where last year, was he going to be the starter? Was he not going to be the starter? Jay Gruden gave him the ball and said, this season and this game and offense is yours.
Said last year, he said, I was a plug-in guy. Now they cater to me, and you're right about the confidence factor. Meanwhile, Foles, incomplete for Stedman Bailey, and the Redskins are really befuddling Nick Foles right now. And it'll be 3rd down and 10 with 1:47 on the clock.
As I stated earlier in this drive, they were not going to be successful just dumping it off, trying to stretch downfield. The first one, they took the shot. Great defense. Washington has them right where they want them.
Redskins, you're right. Since that deep pass, have taken away the long play. Got to get the ball into Redskin territory at the 49. They need 10 yards. Pressure on Foles. Foles knocked out of the pocket, throws it, and nearly picked off. And it was Preston Smith who was impressive, the rookie from Mississippi State last week. And the Redskins have just found the formula against Nick Foles for the most part today.
They have found the formula, and they've gotten it done. But when you think about St. Louis, we said in the opening, their MO is inconsistency. They come up, beat Seattle, have a huge win at home. They're going to try to build off of the momentum. They didn't come to play the way that they did last week.
You're absolutely right, and that was the issue. I said, what's the biggest concern? You didn't talk about any player, any matchup. You said, can this team follow on the heels of that big win over Seattle? And they did not do it today. Crowd yelling for an intentional grounding call, and the pressure by Chris Baker that time. And so it'll be 4th down and 10. Redskins and Foles hope he's all right. Have cause to celebrate. In control for all but part of this game. And Nick Foles was shaken up. A correction. That was a 4th down play, so the Redskins take over on downs. And here was that 4th down attempt.
See his left ankle roll, and you see him coming off, limping off to the sidelines, holding at the top of his shin after the hit from Chris Baker. Those are the ones that are those high ankle sprains that are very hurtful. They're tough to come back from as well.
Only 1 sack, but tell me what the hits and hurries mean to a quarterback.
They made him get rid of the ball before he wanted to. They got him off of the spot, and they took St. Louis's game plan to him.
1st down at the 41 for the Redskins in Ram territory. And Alfred Morris with a hard run. Ogletree on the tackle, a gain of 6 yards. So Nick Foles and Kirk Cousins, who hero on offense today for the Redskins. They were at Michigan State together before Foles transferred and went to Arizona. But they have great respect for one another, do Foles and Cousins. They were both at Michigan State together. Brian Hoyer was another quarterback there. And good friends, a lot of respect. And it was better for Foles to go to Arizona, met his wife out there, happy with that move. And Cousins, of course, played at Michigan State.
Yeah, they talked about their friendship. Two great quarterbacks coming out here, leading their offenses, but more importantly, you could tell they were really good guys that are great in the locker room and great teammates.
You made a great point a few seconds ago, and that is that the Redskins took the plan of the Rams away, and they took it for themselves, and they excelled at it.
They really did. You know, people looking at this game were expecting for 6 sacks plus from the St. Louis front. I know that Washington's defensive line may have not had the sacks, but they've been disruptive the entire day for Nick Foles.
And the running game, which started early with Morris, who started. Morris with 61 yards, and Matt Jones with 123 with 2 touchdowns. And Cousins, tell you what, he was sharp all game. Didn't throw many deep passes, 23 of 27 for 203 yards and 1 touchdown. But for a guy who has had problems in not turning the ball over, no interceptions. Half a minute remaining. 3rd down and 3. Morris is down. And that's going to do it. Washington Redskins, after losing to Miami last week, come in and beat the Rams, who have beaten Seattle. They go 1-1. The Rams are now 1-1. And that's the story. Redskins beat the Rams 24-10. So for David Deal and Christina Pink, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from FedEx Field as the Redskins avoid losing back-to-back home games for the first time since '89. Right now, let's go to the State Farm Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee and the boys in Los Angeles.